Hi there. I'm Carol Ostro, very proud president of the Actors Temple, and welcome. Chapter 5, Stories of the Actors Temple by Ira Helf, the PastisPrologue. The past may be prologue, but if we don't look to the past, how in the world can we tell who we are this moment in time? And this moment in time is the most difficult I've ever had to live through, with the political situation and the COVID-19 killing so many innocent people. So, trying to get us out of this mood, trying to forget about it a little bit, this collaborative effort of ours from the Actors Temple, the board, Rabbi Jill, Dan Miller, and Janine Pierce-Doswell are all together in bringing you an entertainment. And in bringing you this entertainment, I want to bring you a little of our history. We're going back in time. You have to remember that to these people who established the Actors Temple, Temple Ezrath Israel, we were their future. They did it for us. Of course, they did it for themselves. They made sure that their little shul would live on. But we were their future. We were their children. And we have to keep our synagogue going for our future. There is a future, of course. And it's because of you that we will have one. So, this is chapter 5. And we call it The Oscar and the Cigarette Letter. And our very own Bob Greenberg, comedian, actor, wonderful guy, will be reading that story to you. But before we get to that, I have been reading reams of material that were donated to us by Phyllis Malamud, the daughter of Cantor Malamud, and Dan Feld, past president, and his wonderful wife, Norma. They have preserved all of this material. I have been so thrilled reading about our history, and I'm bubbling over, wanting to read some of it to you. And before we begin this chapter, I must read to you a letter from 1935. And it was in preparation for a fundraiser at the Imperial Theater, which is still in existence, of course, today. So let me read just a little excerpt of it. I think you'll find it as much fun as I do. Many stars of the stage, the screen, and the radio have assured Rabbi Bernard Burston of the Temple Ezrath Israel, the Actors Temple at 339 West 47th. They will appear in its next annual benefit to be held at the Imperial Theater on Sunday night, January 6th, 1935. Prominent among them are Walter Houston, Bert Law, George Metaxen, Jack Pearl, Jack Benny, Mary Livingston, and Mary Livingston was Jack Benny's wife, Lou Holtz, Phil Baker, Block and Sully, they were a wonderful comedy team, Smith and Dale, another famous comedy team. I'm having so much fun just reading these names to you. Benny Fields, Patsy Flick, Bob Hope, Lewis and Doty, another comedy group, Al Burney, Charles Carlyle, and many others. Unlike other benefits, the actors feel it is almost a sacred duty to perform at Temple Ezrath Israel's annual benefit because of the daily memorial services that are held there for their departed relatives. To promote the interests and the welfare of the temple, the actor feels he's promoting his own spiritual interests and has therefore never failed to respond wholeheartedly whenever the call to the annual benefit has been made upon him and her. Well, my dears, Times have not changed that much, because when I've called on actors and comedians and singers and performers, they've never said no. And so, please enjoy the rest of all of our chapters. This one, chapter 5, right now. Thank you, everyone, for your donations, for your heartfelt enjoyment of these chapters. There'll be more if you want them. Lots of love and enjoy. Keep well and keep healthy, please. Bye now.
Shalom, I'm Bob Greenberg, comic, actor, and actor on the board of the Actors Temple. The Actors Temple has long been associated with the neighboring Broadway Theater District and its performers. Since some of these stage actors had successful film careers too, there have been times when our shul had something of a bond with Hollywood through these performers. But there is another connection between the Actors Temple and the film industry. It's a connection with one of the most famous names in all of Hollywood, Oscar. The story begins back in the 1940s, in the years when our nation and its allies were fighting a world war to defeat the Axis and fascism. The Actors Temple congregation, like many other religious organizations, did what it could to help the war effort. One of the most unusual fundraisers for this purpose was called the Actors Temple Cigarette Fund. The only historical record that we have for this fundraiser is a letter which was sent to the congregation. A facsimile can be found on our website. The letter has so much in it that's fascinating. First, it contained a very impressive group of names. At the top of the page, we see the congregation's chairman was Milton Berle. Down the side of the page is a list of co-chairs, which included names such as Sophie Tucker, Henny Youngman, and the Ritz brothers. The honorary chairmen listed just under the letterhead were George Jessel, Eddie Cantor, and Al Jolson. These people were at the time the biggest names in show business, the biggest Jewish names in show business. Also, at the top of the page were the people who weren't in show business, but were still key to the Actors Temple's success. Rabbi Bernard Burstein. He was the Actors Temple rabbi at the time, and he was the Actors Temple rabbi until 1959. And also listed is Emmanuel M. Cohan. He was the congregation's treasurer. You probably never heard of Emmanuel Cohan. In case you're wondering, he wasn't related to George M. Cohan, who, as you might know, was a big star, but not exactly Jewish. But Emmanuel, who was our treasurer then, is the reason why we have the Hollywood connection mentioned earlier. Emmanuel M. Cohan was an accomplished man who founded the Cohan-Epner Company. He founded this company with his brother-in-law, Louis Epner. The company began as a jewelry repair shop that did some metallic plating on the side. Their plating technique was so fine that their plating business grew tremendously and became the dominant part of their business. They were so well regarded that in 1938, they were hired to do the silver plating for the scientific studies run by Columbia University's radiation laboratories. That's pretty important stuff. It was their gold plating, particularly their trademarked laser gold. This technique, developed in the 1970s, it brought Cohan-Epner together with the Oscars. In 2016, they were given a multi-year contract to do the 24-karat gold plating on the Oscar statue. The statue weighs over 8 pounds. It's never been solid gold. When the awards began in 1929, The statuettes were made of bronze with gold plating. Nowadays, the material under the 24-karat gold plating is a composite metal called titanium. The reality is that the Oscar statue is not only not solid gold, it's 90% tin. And I don't mean Rin Tin Tin. Ruff! In recent years, the gold plating on the Oscar statue has been made better, more durable, and more illustrious because of a company that was founded by Emanuel M. Cohen. It is a remarkable thing to observe that the history of a synagogue called the Actors Temple has a connection to the manufacturing of one of the most important awards in the acting profession. And to top it all off, our particular connection is that this past treasurer of the Actors Temple improved upon, appropriately, the gold. Every organization should have a treasurer like that. The Oscars and the Actors Temple is one of the many stories in the PastisPrologue, Stories from the Actors Temple. Now, here's a treat to you. Here is an Oscar. I know he looks small, but it's Oscar when he was a boy.